A man thinketh in his heart of hearts, so it is. There's another scripture that says that we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. So when our heart and our mind is on the same page, really that's how we have massive impact. On day 15 in Man Alive ebook, I've got a hard copy, but it's an ebook, so men can receive it straight away. That's why I made an ebook. Day 15, it talks about that boxing program that I did for a decade, that Fight Like a Pro, and it talks about day 15 about you cannot outperform your self-image, meaning how you see yourself. You know, what your mind is saying to you, what your heart is connecting with in your mind. So you cannot outperform the way you see yourself, your self-image. So many times I would see we would start a new group of men, between 20, 24 men. And it's like I would see, doing it a long time, and even over the years where I created what I call the Better Man group, which what it was men that have been through the initiation, the validation process, and a part of becoming a better man is serving and helping others. So then I would teach them actually how to be a cornerman, how to serve others, how to look for men's blind spots. And so when we get a fresh group of men, you would see the men, you would see the winners at the starting line, at the starting post. And many men, I remember I used to have that last gym I had for a few years, I had my office, it was all glass, okay, and facing the car park. So I would see men get out of their cars. I would see what they would do, and I would see them rock up in the most expensive cars money could buy. I would see some men, they would look like they literally just had, you know that saying, all the gear but no idea? And that was okay, they had no idea. That's why the program was designed for men that had never had a boxing match. So that's fine. But you would see the strut, and that's what I look for. But you see quickly what that was built on. As we go through life, you start to see how, because it's not the wins that make a man, it's how he negotiates on the inside the challenges. You know, the substance that is in him. That I talk about in that day 15 that was said to me by a great coach, boxing coach. He goes, there's three men inside every man. There's the man I tell you that I am, the man that I think I am, and the guy who lives in there. And he referred to that real guy, the guy that only you talk to. And particularly when you're inside that boxing ring, nobody can help you. It's up to you, the guy on the inside, the relationship which comes down to your self-image, the conversation, that self-talk that you have with yourself. That's who you are. That's the real guy. Okay, so gentlemen, that's what we've got to get. Those three, the guy I think I am, the guy I say I am, and the guy on the inside, he's got to be one guy. He's got to be on the same page. There's nothing worse, like I said, when you see a guy strutting around overcompensating. And I would say what that really comes down to, what I've seen, because no man wants to do that, but he just is unaware of the season or the stages the season that he's in, and the stages, he doesn't understand the stages of the masculine journey. And particularly when we go, in my books, but particularly when we go through the Become a Better Man challenge, that's really, there's a couple of times, I give a couple of different examples of that masculine journey, those stages that you've got to get answers to. You've got to get answers to questions that are in you. But I say a big portion of the problem with this masculine journey in this modern day and age is men don't even know what the questions are. How are you going to get an answer to a question that you don't even know exists? And that's one of the great things, particularly with the VIP section. I mean, with the whole Become a Better Man challenge. But that's a big portion, the feedback that I love is that men say, I'm getting answers to questions I didn't even realise I had. Gentlemen, This self-image is massive. You cannot, like I say on day 15 in the Man Alive ebook, you cannot outperform your self-image. You cannot outperform what your mind is saying, that self-talk. You will not outperform that. So if you're operating at lack, at scarcity, if you're operating with a low confidence, that's going to be your results. I love that example of your thinking will control how you feel. How you feel will control how you act. You know, your actions will control your results. So it actually starts in here. And if this is out of control, you definitely need to do the challenge. You definitely need to do the Become a Better Man challenge. And I would say to you, if you know somebody, because you can read the play, you can see men that have maybe got a few years under their belt, you all know somebody who's gone through, who is either gone or going through the struggles you have. I would suggest be a man and actually grab that guy and say, listen, we're doing this challenge together. And that will actually form an amazing relationship. You'll get a great bond, not just with me and the men that are other men that are doing the challenge, but the man that you're lifting up and helping. Man, so I look forward to seeing you in the challenge. Over and out.